I have no idea where to start this video, so I'm just gonna start talking. So I've been gone from YouTube for a really long time, and you know I've done this a lot of times throughout my YouTube life, but with the exclusion of Despacito, I've been gone, and I wanted to explain why that was. To put it lightly, I've been depressed. I still am depressed, and I was gonna make a video about this because I didn't feel it was right to release any other videos onto YouTube until I explained myself, because I really wanted everyone to know what was going on with me. You know, and I streamed a lot to try and get the donations so that I can afford a nice blogging camera like this, and then I did. I ended up getting the money, and so I was gonna do the video. I was ready to do it, because I was hitting pretty close to rock bottom. But then amazing things started happening to me, and I thought maybe after all the good things are over, then I'll release this video. It's just as the timeline keeps moving, the presentation of this keeps shifting because things keep changing. So I'm just gonna mostly in this video talk about what's happened within the last 2 months. Because the original video that I was going to make that, you know, was talking about the complexities and the nuances of my depression for the last, like, year almost, will be at a different time, because it would just be too long of a video, so I'm not gonna do that. So, what brought this all about? You know, I've always been struggling to live here in California. I mean, doesn't everyone? But me not having a usable degree other than the one that I got from the military, and having no real job, no real place to live, nothing lined up other than just a fucking 21-year-old kid from Iowa wanting to make the dream come true, raising enough money, and then just moving out on a prayer and a dream. But I moved out here because I was miserable. I couldn't take it anymore. And I started working really crappy retail jobs, you know, to make it here. You know, from Victoria's Secret to other places in the mall like Wetzel Pretzel and stuff like that. But then slowly but surely I started leveling up, so to speak, and I finally got into the video game industry. In 2016, I got to finally get my foot in the door working with Atlas on Persona 5. And then from there, I moved on to Square Enix, where I worked there for Final Fantasy XIV. Those are pretty cool accomplishments, I would say. So this is where all of my unease comes in. My entire time living here in California, I've never been safe. I've always had an unstable home where roommates would screw me over and I'd have to move out, or a job would drop me and I was a contractor, and nothing was stable. Nothing has ever been stable. And that's where this all begins. I so desperately wanted to grow up, you know, and get that salary job and get those benefits and to just get my roots in stable here. So while I was at Square Enix, like, sure, I think I developed a lot of chops. I was in customer service. I never said that to anyone because I didn't actually want to admit what it was. One, because it's a horrible job and I'll get into that, and two, because I have a following, they warned me to not say that I was in customer service, because who knows if there's a fan or a malicious person who knew of me that would just call in to harass us. Which is sound, makes sense, but customer support, customer service in general for anywhere is absolute garbage. It's the worst thing ever. All it is people who are confused and angry and don't understand the system yelling at you because they don't understand the system and they want to understand the system. It's just being yelled at all day. It's being yelled at, and sure, you learn all the nuances of conversation and you pick up some good, like, soft skills, but it's not mentally good for you. It destroys you after a while. No one should ever stay in customer support or service for a prolonged amount of time, I believe. Even if you're the most positive person, that'll break you. Just being yelled at every day, it's a toxic mentality. And Square was no different. They just needed bodies filled, right? Like, and when you do that, you don't get the best people sometimes, and so there's tensions, people clash, and aside from the job and the people, there was one person in particular that caused all of this. He caused all of this. His name was Joshua. Well, actually, I want to go into all the complexities of Joshua and all of that in another video. But to just TLDR Joshua, he and I were in a relationship and it was extremely toxic. He gaslighted me and tormented me for months. And it destroyed me. It started off with me being just sad, generally sad, about the fact that I'm 23 and I still haven't set my roots in, and I'm feeling anxious and seeking comfort in my partner. But Joshua wasn't the type of person to do that. He wouldn't comfort me. In fact, he would twist conversations and things so that it would be a pity party for him, and it wouldn't be about me anymore. It would be him and his issues and his problems. Which, maybe because I'm easily pushed around or stupid, but I fell into that many times. And it started to twist my mentality, thinking that maybe I shouldn't have any problems and he does need more help than me. But that, I mean, you can just assume how that destroys a person. He made me believe after a while that I wasn't worth any sort of kindness or comfort because I don't deserve it, or because I don't know. But I started to believe that no one on the planet cared about me and that I'm crazy. My problems didn't deserve any sort of comfort. He treated me a lot like my mother, and it's weird to say, but that's another part of the TLDR story that led to my depression. Again, TLDR about Joshua moving on, you kind of get a gist of that. My mother is someone who's always played the cold-hearted bit of being strong and tough in order for you to learn through tough love. But the thing is that she never let up on that. It never stopped. And well, again, it'll come into that. But what I realized with both my mom and Joshua is that they weren't unique to me or at all. It turns out that horrible, selfish people all act kind of the same. They have the same type of manipulative tactics, the same type of phrases, the same type of like reactions, and the way they handle situations. It's similar. It's all similar. So then I realized that it wasn't just, me. It's just characteristics of selfish people. And if you couldn't guess, which I don't know if you can or can't, that's a dumb thing to say, but I'm a typical kid in America that doesn't have a dad. But don't feel bad. That's just the thing. I never knew my dad, and he died of heroin overdose like a couple years ago. I never knew him, so he was just another human being. But that brings me to my point that my mother is everything to me. She's all I have. She's everything. So you can understand why, again, TLDR, why a sad relationship with my mom, where she hurts me like that and never gives me emotional support, can destroy my mind. Especially when I was going through the abuse from Joshua. So that's what started the depression. That's what brought me to here. Moving forward. So this all started in May of 2017, like I said. But all of this manifested within me in horrible ways. I lost a lot of weight. I couldn't eat. I started having panic attacks. I've never had that before. And it really was very bizarre because as simple as feeling fear for no reason and you can't control how your body reacts, that's exactly how a panic attack feels. And it was so bizarre. I've never had those before. So for my body to one day not respond to what I was logically telling it to stop doing, it started killing me. I started losing my sanity. I didn't know how to cope with it. I felt like I wasn't human. Like I wasn't me. But throughout all those panic attacks and everything, Joshua was always a stressor for me. And again, moving forward, at the end of January, about January 21st or so, not too long ago, I had my final fight with Joshua where I had a shitty day. I didn't want to think. And as per usual, he wanted me to go over to his house, you know, for his entertainment, so we can spend time together, whatever. And so he was like, pack your stuff, we need to get going. And I just wanted to lay there and not do anything, and I told him I don't want to try. And to him, which he responded, I would say, fairly, he, you know, got a little like, okay, Sandy, and so he's like, I'll do it for you then. He started packing my stuff for me, but then he stopped, and he started getting angry, impatient, you know, as per he usually does. And then finally he said, Sandy, why don't you want to try? And I said, I don't want to try. And then he got so angry, and I shit you not, he stood up and looked at me and said, if you don't want to try, then fine, I don't want to try. And that, you know what, that blew my mind, because this is the guy who I broke up with and got together, broke up, got together, broke up, got together so many times that it was just plain stupid. And to have him every single time when he would beg for me back, he would always recite perfectly, concisely his faults, what he needed to fix, what he was self-aware about, perfectly, enough to convince me to give him another chance. This is coming from someone who could say those things and be aware of those things. And then for him to say all of those things, and then in that one moment of impatience say, if you're not going to try, I'm not going to try. Even though he told me he'd try, even though he's begged for me back. This is the breaking moment for him. I don't know. It just, I broke. I started crying and laughing. Deliriously, I looked insane. Because I couldn't, but I decided that day that I was done. I was done, and I'm never, ever, ever going to deal with him ever again. And my depression got so bad that I finally put my fucking foot down. I was like, I need help. I can't keep feeling miserable forever. And so I started getting help. I was back on my mom's insurance with the new year coming in. And I started making doctor's appointments for everything. For my eyes, for dentistry, gynecology, just a normal doctor to prescribe me something for my anxiety attacks, a therapist, a chiropractor because I started having back problems, everything. And every small little step that I took made me feel just a little bit better. And it just kept piling on, and I started feeling healthier and better. So in the midst of me feeling better and making myself healthy again, someone reached out to me. Mel. She's a rioter. She's on the Summoner Showcase. And she just reached out to me as per the classic cliche of like, hey, I see that you're down. If you ever want anyone to talk to, I'm here. And as the cliche goes, you, the person who's depressed, doesn't take them up on the offer because it just sounds so disingenuous at this point. And also because why would I open up my heart to you? Whatever. So you deny them. And also, when you're depressed, you don't really want to reach out to people. You want people to reach out to you. Whatever. Anyway, Mel didn't just reach out to me. She didn't just say, hey, if you have anyone... She actually messaged me and then went above and beyond and just scheduled time. She's like, you know what? Come to my house at this time. Let's have dinner together and let's talk. And of course, I was like, wow, that's forward. Why? What's your reasoning? And it was no other discernible reason whatsoever other than she legitimately just felt sad for another human being. And she could relate to my issues. And she just wanted to tell me that I wasn't alone. Go figure. So it goes without saying that my friendship with Mel took a very strong impression onto my mental state. I started clinging to her very hard emotionally. Because for once, after a long, actually, I don't know how long, I finally had someone constantly, physically, and verbally reaffirm that I'm worth something, hugging me, petting me, laughing with me, and constantly exploring thought processes behind the psychology of why I feel this way because I couldn't understand it. She was my dearest friend. Also my only girlfriend. I've never had a girlfriend. So Mel started introducing me to a bunch of other girl rioters, mainly Joyce, Linda, and Blair, and it was the start of good times. They would invite me out all the time to watch anime all day or go clothes shopping, and I've never had girlfriends before, ever in my life, physically. Like, close friends that are girls. It's always been guys, and yeah, you know, it's whatever classic cliche for that reasoning is. And it makes me sad. I've always wanted to have a girls love me this much, because there's a lot you can't say to guys that they won't ever understand. But they had this gentleness to them, because it turns out that these girls have been through things that are similar. And so they truly understood on a very deep level what I was going through. And it just felt so magical, because finally now I had these people that didn't just wish the best for me and give me advice, you know, like everyone else. They gave me advice coming from a place of pure empathy, because they themselves went through it too. And they could offer so much insight, all of their thought processes, exactly what they went through, how it felt, you know, on a very, very detailed level. And it just felt like I finally found the answers that I was looking for in friends and in myself. I will 100% stand by the fact that I believe I've learned more in the last year about myself and the world than I ever have in my 24 years of living. And I guess that's just what happens when you're pressed against the wall and things change. Things change. And it was for the better, I'd say. So around this time, there was an application put online by a ton of my rioter friends for basically TLDR, my dream job. Just to put it that way, it was my dream job, and so I thought, this is it. Maybe I can try. Maybe I can try to change things more so. Maybe I can finally break away from Square and Joshua. Maybe I can finally put my roots down, you know, with a job at Riot of all places. I'll be an adult. The interview process was pretty weird to begin with, because the people interviewing me they were people who were my close friends. Like, people who have seen me cry and get angry and break down to the purest forms of human you can think of. They've seen all those intimate sides of Sandy, and now we have to sit in a room and, like, talk. But what I realized was that while it was a little weird, it was also really thought-provoking. I learned the smallest nuances in just talking to someone like a human, and not any corporate talk whatsoever. It was just friends talking, like, you know, talking about a project, talking about a thing. And I felt so relaxed. It was nice. But as fate would have it, I was eventually let go from Square. February 21st, they fired me. And someday I'll talk about that, but just know that regardless of if I was a shitter or not, I wanted to leave there. I desperately had a plan to just leave there because I couldn't take it anymore. Either I planned to, by the end of March, move the hell out of there and find another job, even if it was literally anything else, because I could not take it. The panic attacks that I had at work because of Joshua and because of my coworkers and because of my job were not worth the money. They weren't. Nothing was. I would literally do anything else. So the fact that they fired me was crappy, because I wanted it to be on my time, obviously, because now I'm pressed for money, right? I don't have a job, and I can't pay rent, so I have to move out by the end of March. I could pay for March, but now I have to move out. But the good thing is that I had these friends who supported me, and I had this potential thing at Riot, maybe. So it wasn't all bad. A little unfortunate, sure. Scary, yeah. But it was gonna be okay. It was gonna be okay. So things just started getting better. I tried to make the best of everything. I kept going to Riot. They kept inviting me over for dinner. And I would use that time to bounce questions and interview potential questions and thought processes with other rioters. Because it turns out, if you've never been to Riot, they're all really, really nice people. They don't just hire extremely skilled people in their field, they hire good people. They have to have those two things. They don't just fill bodies like companies do. They make sure to get good people who are good at what they do. So all these people are just really reasonable and nice, and they'd be like, hey, I've never seen you before, why are you here? And I'm like, oh, I'm interviewing. And they're like, oh, and just immediately would delve into like asking me interview questions. I'm like, yeah, ask me. And then it was perfect practice. It was amazing. And every single time I would answer them with such confidence, and all of these answers would flow to me that I've never had before. They would always just look at me and just shake their head and be like, I don't know why you don't work here yet. And that feels really good, coming from a rioter, from a bunch of different rioters. Because what if one was a fluke? 2, 3, all of them that I talked to? It was evident that, if anything, I had a spark in me that they could see. And at first I was really nervous, like, can I do this job? I don't know, and I didn't think I could do it. But the more I talked to people, the more I practiced, and the more I just thought about things from a bunch of different perspectives, the more I felt confident in moving forward. And then every interview from then on, I killed. I did really well. So that's why I put off making this video, or the other video of me explaining everything more. Because good things were happening to me, and I kept thinking, okay, if I get this riot job, then I'll be able to, I'll be an adult, I'll have real money, I'll finally have my dream job, a career. And I was just really looking forward to that potential future. So I didn't want to think about making a really sad video until after the fact. Oh, but of course, why am I making this video now? Where does it go? Where does the story lead? Of course, as fate would have it, I didn't get the job. I didn't get the job. I felt so confident in all of my answers, and they all really liked me. And I knew that they just felt torn, and it was painful because these are my friends. And I was so heartbroken because I started poking so many holes in everything that I did, which is toxic to do. You shouldn't do that to yourself. I started replaying all of my interviews, like, oh, maybe I said something that was too ambitious, maybe I was just too aggressive, maybe I wasn't aggressive enough, and I was destroying myself. It wasn't fair. It wasn't fair to me. I shouldn't do that. But I did it anyway. I found out on Friday the 16th of March. And the very next day, on Saturday, I was driving to Linda and Blair's house because they wanted to hear my story and help me plan for what's next now that I lost the riot job and I don't have a job now and I don't have a place to live and I have hardly any money to my name. What do I do? What do I do? As I was driving to Linda's house, I don't know how to describe it. I was driving and I was looking straight ahead, going normal highway speed, 60, 70, whatever. And even though I was staring straight ahead, I just zoned out completely because I was crying. And I was so heartbroken over the fact that I'm lost and I don't know what to do. And seemingly out of nowhere, a car appeared and I crashed. Badly. Obviously I'm okay. The most that happened was, it's healed now. But I got a burn from my seatbelt protecting me, and I got a burn over here from the airbag exploding on me. And I completely destroyed the guy's bumper. And my only thought when I when it happened was, you're an idiot. And this is the perfect cherry on top of everything. That you're a fuck up. You're an idiot. I can't do anything right. I fucking crashed because I was sad. God. I legitimately broke. I just started crying in the middle of the highway with the police and the firemen. I just curled up into a ball on the pavement and cried. I couldn't even speak to give a statement. They had to pick me up, like cradle me in their arms and put me in the fire truck just so I could talk. It was bad. That day was a nightmare. Of course, Blair and Linda and Joyce came to save me. And I just cried. Because it just felt so evident to me that the entire world, all of California and the world was screaming at me that, Sandy, you're just a kid and your ambitions are too far. And get the fuck out. Because you can't make it here. You're ambitious, sure. You have passion, sure. But that doesn't cut it. You need the experience. So, of course, me being pretty much at rock bottom, who else was to contact me other than, of course, Joshua? Of course he did. Now, keep in mind, I have him blocked literally everywhere. Absolutely everywhere that you can think of, I have him blocked. My phone, however, the way it works, I'm not sure if it works like this with all phones, but when you block someone, it informs you that they tried to contact you, but for them, it just goes instantly to voicemail, so they can never get in contact with you. So I see all of these attempts from him trying because he's so worried about me. And I ignore it, of course, because I know he doesn't mean it. I know, Joshua. I know that he only cares now when I'm hurt. Only now when things are against the wall. Not any other time that I needed him to, I guess. But the thing is, I ignored him, and the next day, he contacts me by email. Email! Of all things, email. I can't, how desperate do you have to be for you to be blocked everywhere? And you're just like, I have to get in contact with them somehow. Email! He's delusional. He's crazy. Let me read to you the email so you can just see what kind of a person he is. It says, I forgot that you might have blocked me, so you might not have seen my text yesterday. First off, who says that? Let's try, even though it's a futile attempt, let's try and understand what his mentality, what he's thinking. Because think about that. If you know that you're blocked literally everywhere, and this person blocked you for a reason that you very well know the reason to, and for you to say, I forgot you blocked me? How do you forget that? What? What? Okay, so that's bullshit. And then the second thing, beyond that, is if you know that you're blocked absolutely everywhere, and the only option you have left is email, then why would you take that option at all? I have you blocked everywhere for a reason. Why would you think, in a desperate attempt, maybe if I reach out an email, that'll change things? No. I saw your tweets yesterday after your car accident and called immediately. I'm so relieved you're alive and thankful that it sounds like you didn't sustain any major physical injuries. I am worried about how you're feeling though. I want to help in any way I can to take some of the slack off for you. Have you eaten today? I wanted to take you somewhere outside like a nice park or the beach or maybe the zoo. The fresh air and scenery will help. Somewhere relaxing, maybe with some music. If there's anywhere you want or need to be, or if your car is out of commission and you need help getting anything, I'd be more than happy to. Remember to keep trying and keep being wonderful. You're in a rough place now, but it's temporary. Tomorrow will be better, I promise. I know it because you've had the strength and determination to do so, and that's magnified by the support from so many others who see and love you for the kind soul you are. I and others admire you because you actually have a dream, a beautiful dream at that, and we admire you for your resilience after encountering failures and giving everything your all in spite of it. It's why they emulate you. We will continue to cheer you on. You can do it. Joshua. See, the thing is about this letter that's so upsetting is that if I never told you anything about Joshua, if no one knew anything about Joshua, you would think that he's a nice person. It's deceptive, and it makes me so angry. Or so I thought, but when I showed other people who care about me, who know nothing of Joshua, they were like, what the fuck is this letter? Look at this predatory tone. It's creepy. The mere fact that he says, I'm so relieved you're alive. Who says that? Oh my god, that's weird. That's a weird way of speech. People don't say that. I'm so glad you're alive. Of course I'm alive. I tweeted. That's weird. That's a weird thing to say. But what one of my writer friends pointed out, someone who's really good at deciphering tone, because that's literally what he does, told me that it sounded robotic. He sounds like a robot trying to emulate kindness. This is what a human sounds like when they are trying to be kind. Because if you put the word human at the end of any of his sentences, it just sounds like that. Have you eaten today, human? I want to take you somewhere outside, like a nice park, or the beach, or maybe the zoo. The fresh air and scenery will help, human. Somewhere relaxing, maybe with some music. If there's anywhere you want to or need to be, or your car is out of commission, and you need help getting anything, I'd be more than happy to, human. But, aside from tone or however you want to discern that, this is his first contact with me. After all he's done, after all he said, after he left me that day, crying and laughing deliriously because he said he didn't want to try anymore, he comes to me with this. Now, if he truly wanted to help me, really, and taking into consideration what he's done for me and wants to be a good person and do the right thing, then he could just leave a fat wad of cash at my door. That would help a ton, without having to emotionally kill me. But no, that's not what he wants to do. He wants to be a part of my happiness. He wants to give me happiness because he cannot function knowing that he didn't have a hand in my happiness. And that's where he's just deluded. He's delusional. There's no way, after what he's done, there's no way that I would take him. Like, what was he expecting? For me to be like, you know what? Yeah, you absolutely destroyed me. And I got into a car accident. Yeah, I guess I could use some of you time. It's things like this that cause me to panic. And that day when I got that stupid email, I had a panic attack. Because like always, I always cry and scream. When will he leave me alone? What can I do to get away from him? There's nothing I can do. I blocked his email, but he can still keep trying. He still reads my Twitter because he's pathetic and needs to have some sort of something of Sandy. But that makes me feel like I'm trapped, and I can't get away from this evil. So congratulations, you bastard. He got me to panic that day. I didn't need that after my car crash. I didn't need that at all. But he doesn't care. He never takes me seriously, and he never respects anything that I say. If he's watching this video, he probably thinks I'm lying. Or he probably will be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And then try to reach out to me and tell me why he's so sorry. So that's where I'm at right now. Aside from everything, and Joshua being a torment, my depression, my mom not helping. Aside from all of that, that's where I am right now. So what do I do? What can I do? Well, I made this video, one, because I really wanted to vent. I wanted you guys to know more about me, about the papashi that you love, if you love me at all. And know how I tick, and know what I've been going through, and I guess to give you a reason for why I've been gone. But second is because I need help. I really need help. I thought about maybe going back home to Iowa. I thought maybe if I went back home for a year and you know, rent-free with my family and just worked and saved up, then I could come out here and try again. But the thought that I won't have any friends, I have no friends. And everyone over there is the worst kind of conservative, bigoted, racist, Midwestern mindset that you can possibly think of. I have no one to talk to, no one who understands me because I'm weird and I play video games. They don't understand my liberal mindset. They think I'm weird. But aside from all of that, going back home because I failed to have my mom tell me I told you so, and to be emotionally abused by my mom as well. The thought of all of those things scared me so much more than just staying here and suffering. I would much rather stay in California where there's opportunity and maybe a chance and a hope that it'll work out than going back home where I know I'm secure but I'm absolutely miserable. And I'm not gonna lie, if I'm gonna be honest, if I went back home to Iowa, I don't think I'd make it. I really don't think I would make it. So I need to do whatever I can to stay here. I mean, right now, I've applied to a bunch of places and I have to wait for that, work on that dime. But while I'm waiting, I've been trying to stream every day, but I never gave context as to why I was streaming, why I was in trouble. But now that you guys know, I don't know what to say. I just, in whatever way you can help. Streaming is basically my job right now until I have another job, and making YouTube videos as well. And I want to make more content for you guys, but I had to get this out first. I had to get this off of my chest. So how can you help? How can you help me? Anything. Literally anything. All of the encouragement and all of the comments that I get from people, as much as they think it's cliched or that it's been said already, it doesn't matter. I legitimately feel like I don't have any worth. And some days I really do feel like I just want to quit. As if I could just pull the plug and that's it. Game over. And on those days, those comments help so much. And not just the, hey, you can do it, get better, cookie cutter stuff. It's those long messages. Those messages that have thoughts and prayers and stories of how they went through whatever and how they applied it to me and hopeful upbringing and everything. It's messages like these. It's comments like these. Because every time I read one, and every time someone shows me a piece of their heart, I can't. Every time someone donates to me and gives me words of encouragement, not because they need anything from me, but because they genuinely want to help me. I question to myself, how could I possibly not try my best when all of you believe in me so much? Because then that makes me feel horrible, like I'm squandering this kindness. How can I not believe in me when you guys believe in me? The words you guys say remind me that it's gonna be okay, and that I'm strong, I have been before. And I want to believe in the kindness of people. I want to believe that people like Mel, and people like the ones who donate with their kind messages for no other reason other than that they want to help me out. I want to believe that people like that are out there. A ton of you. Even if it's $1, even if it's just a comment, even if it's whatever. But the thing is, I don't I don't want to just have it money charity thrown at me, right? I want to earn it, because I guess I have a little pride too. I want to earn your donations, I guess, for as weird as a sentence that is. Let me entertain you. Come watch me stream. Listen to me sing. Whatever, so that if you feel like, yeah, she's got it, she deserves $10, or simply because you don't want me to give up on my dream, because you don't want me to go home, because you believe that I can do it, please, anything will help. Anything, literally anything will help me. So that's where I'm at. I'll keep trying my best. I have to, for my sanity and for my dreams. What else can I do but keep trying my best? I've had to take all of these lemons for so long and keep making lemonade. But for once, I just want to sit back and drink the lemonade. So yeah. I hope that this video has made you want to contribute or help. I hope that this video has answered as many questions as I could possibly do in this kind of long video, and I really do hope that for my friends, for fans, for acquaintances, whoever you are, if I've spoken to you or not, share the video, talk about the video, do whatever you can, and I'm begging you to help me not give up. So, yeah, I don't know how to end the video. Maybe I'll sing. ワンツーの合図待って夢見て取り合ったのは僕の勇気ある行動です。立ち止まないんでいいんだからね。それぞれしいなこの人生。できないのなんて言わないでね。言わないでね。Bye guys.